Good morning all. So today we will complete the state legislature. Today we will be discussing about the difference between the state legislature and the parliament. The difference between the state legislature and the parliament with respect to ordinary bills. Just a comparison. Parliament, state legislature. Parliament, state legislature. Here state legislature means by default I will be considering. Here state legislature means by default I will be considering the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Here Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Here it is Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. So first with regarding to ordinary laws. Here also it can be introduced in either house of the parliament, means it might be from the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. Here also it can be introduced in either house. Either, remember either. Ordinary bills. Here also simple majority. Here also simple majority. So with respect to ordinary bill, what is the major difference? If there is a deadlock with respect to Rajya Sabha and Rajya Sabha, there is a possibility of joint sitting. Here there is no possibility of joint sitting. Introduced either by a minister or by a private member. Means a public bill can be there, a private member bill can be there. Here public bill can be there, private member. Both are the same. It can be introduced either by a minister or by a private member. If it is introduced by the minister, it is called as public bill. If it is introduced by any member, either ruling or opposition other than the minister, it is called as private member bill. So the public bill and the private bill both are present in the parliament. Public bill and the private bill both are present in the state legislature. It passes through first reading, second reading and third reading in the originating house. The same here. First reading, second reading and third reading in the originating house. Both are same. Deemed to have been passed by the parliament only when both the houses have agreed to it, either with or without amendments. When both the houses should agree. Deadlock we will come to next point. But when two houses are there, when the two houses, if they pass with simple majority, then only it is subjected to be passed. But here, it is deemed to have been passed by the state legislature only when both the houses have agreed in either with or without amendments. But if there is a deadlock, what will happen? There is a difference with respect to deadlock. If there is a deadlock, there is a joint sitting. If there is a deadlock, there is no joint sitting. But however, when again it will go to the Legislative Assembly, if the Legislative Assembly passes it again, then it is deemed to be passed. Where? In state legislature. So, but normally, if it is passed from the Lok Sabha, if it is passed from the Rajya Sabha, it is deemed to be passed. It is passed from the Legislative Assembly. If it is passed from the Legislative Council, it is deemed to be passed. But when deadlocks happens, there will be a joint sitting. Next deadlock, a sequence. When a deadlock is there, means where Lok Sabha is not accepting, but Rajya Sabha is accepting. Where the Rajya Sabha is accepting, but Lok Sabha is not accepting. If there is a deadlock between the two houses takes place when the second house, after receiving a bill passed by the first house, rejects the bill or proposes amendments that are not acceptable to the first house. The first house can be Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. That is the reason I am not using the word Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, just I am using first house. When it is passed from the first house, when it went to the second house, if the second house is rejecting or the second house is proposing the amendments, but the first house is not happy with the amendments that are not acceptable to the first house, does not pass the bill within 6 months. So three conditions are there. When the second house rejects or the second house pumps with amendments and that amendments are not acceptable to the first house, or the second house is keeping with itself for the 6 months. The second house is not taking any decision for the next 6 months, then it is called as deadlock. When there is deadlock, then we will go to joint sitting. So, what is the deadlock mechanism in the parliament? 3. When the second house rejects, when the second house recommends the recommendations and those recommendations are unacceptable to the first house. And third is when the second house did not pass or did not reject, but keeping it with for 6 months, then there will be a deadlock. A deadlock between the two houses takes place when the Legislative Council, after receiving a bill passed by the Legislative Assembly. Here no first house, no second house. Only deadlock will happen if and only if the Legislative Council is not happy. Means compulsory the Legislative Assembly should pass it. After the Legislative Assembly passes only it will go. If the bill entered into the Legislative Council, Legislative Council passed it, Legislative Assembly is not passing, means it will not pass, move only. It will not go, move forward. But here, if the Rajya Sabha passes, but Lok Sabha is not passing it, deadlock. Here Legislative Council passed, but the Assembly is not passing. There is no question of deadlock. The bill will come to an end. The bill will come to an end. Why? Because the Legislative Council, whether it is passing or not passing, it doesn't have any significance. If Legislative Council is passing or not passing, it doesn't have any significance. But the Rajya Sabha, if it passes, it is having significance. If the Legislative Council is passing, it doesn't have any significance. Finally, it is the Legislative Assembly which is important. Where? In the state legislature. But coming to the Parliament, if Rajya Sabha passes, means yes, it is significant. Compulsory, it should be passed by the Lok Sabha. So, after receiving a bill passed by the Legislative Assembly, rejects the bill or proposes amendments that are not acceptable to the Legislative Assembly, or does not pass the bill within the 3 months. Here the time is 6 months, here the time is 3 months. For 3 months, if it is not passing, then again it will go to the Legislative Assembly. If it passes it again, then it will come to the Legislative Council. Now how much time it will have? Only 1 month. So see. So the concept of deadlock is applicable in Parliament. Why? Because there is a session called as joint sitting session. The concept of deadlock is there in legislative also, in the state legislature also, but there is no concept of joint sitting. So if the bill passed from the Legislative Council and went to the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Assembly is not accepting, means the bill come to an end. But if the bill passed from the Legislative Assembly and went to the Legislative Council, if the Legislative Council accepts, it become a bill, it become an act. If the Legislative Council rejects it, then again the Legislative Assembly will send with a recommendation. Again it will pass and it will send without any time limit. But if the Legislative Council is keeping it for 3 months without any passing or without any not passing, without passing or with passing, if it pass, then no problem. Without passing constantly, if it keeps with itself, again the Assembly will pass the bill second time, and now the Legislative Council will be having the maximum time of how much? 1 month. So overall, the Legislative Council have the power to stop the bill to become an act how many months? 4 months. First time 3 months, then second time only 1 month. 4 months maximum time is present with the Legislative Council as a suspension. So 4 months maximum, the Legislative Council can stop a bill to become a act. But after 4 months, by default it will become an deemed to be passed. Whereas if the deadlock is there here, then compulsory there should be a joint sitting. We cannot ignore. If Rajya Sabha does not pass also, we cannot ignore. Compulsory it need to be passed by the Rajya Sabha. If not, a joint sitting where the Rajya Sabha members will be sitting together with the Lok Sabha. So the Rajya Sabha members are important, but the Legislative Councils are unimportant. Mostly a Legislative Council can stop a bill for 4 months. The Constitution provides for the mechanism of joint sitting of 2 houses of the Parliament to resolve a deadlock between them over a passage of a bill, whereas here there is no concept of deadlock. There is no concept of joint sitting if there is a deadlock. The joint sitting concept is totally absent. The joint sitting is summoned by the President. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha will be presiding over the joint sitting. The Constitution does not provide for the mechanism of joint sitting of the 2 houses of the state legislature to resolve a deadlock between them over the passage of a bill. Again I am repeating. From Legislative Assembly, it passed and went to the Legislative Council. If it accepts, it become an act. If it doesn't accept, then it will go to the Legislative Assembly, and if it is passed again, then it is binding on the Legislative Council to pass it. If it is not passing, or if it is not at all rejecting, if it is keeping with itself, maximum it can keep for 3 months. Then by default it will go to the Legislative Assembly, again it will be passed. After passing, it will have maximum time period of, but there is no concept called as joint sitting. Lok Sabha cannot override the Rajya Sabha by passing the bill for the second time and vice versa. A joint sitting is the only way to resolve the deadlock between the two houses. But here, the legislative assembly have the power to override the council. The legislative assembly have the power to override the legislative council. The legislative assembly can override the legislative council by passing the bill for the second time. And not vice versa, means if legislative council passed, if legislative assembly is not passing, then legislative council doesn't have the power to pass second time and it will deem it to be passed. That provision is not there for legislative council, that provision is present only for the assembly. When a bill is passed by the assembly for the second time and transmitted to the legislative council, if the legislative council rejects the bill again or proposes amendments that are not acceptable to the legislative council or does not pass the bill within 1 month, then the bill is deemed to have been. After second time also, legislative council is adamant, I will not pass, or again I will keep with me, still it is deemed to be passed. Still it is deemed to be passed. After second time when it is voted upon, after the second time when it is voted upon, it is a obligation to the legislative council, if you are happy or not, it will be passed within 1 month. Then the bill is deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the form in which it was passed by the legislative assembly for the second time. The mechanism of joint sitting for resolving a deadlock applies to a bill whether originating in Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. If a joint sitting is not summoned by the president, the bill ends and becomes dead. But here, the mechanism of passing the bill for the second time to resolve a deadlock applies to a bill originated from assembly, not from the council. When a bill which has originated in the legislative council and sent to the legislative assembly is rejected by the latter, the bill ends and becomes dead. And submit. Next, on money bill, with regard to money bill, between the parliament, state legislature, between the parliament and state legislature, can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha and not in the Rajya Sabha. Similar, it can be introduced only in the legislative assembly and not in the legislative council. Both are the same, similar. It can be introduced only on the recommendation of the president, only on the recommendation of the governor. It can be introduced only by a minister and not by a private member. Here also only by the minister, not by the private member. All the money bills are public bills. All the money bills are public bills. Why? Because it is with respect to taxation, expenditure, spending. So it's a government duty. So public bill, but not private bill. It cannot be rejected or amended by the Rajya Sabha. It should be returned to the Lok Sabha within 14 days, either with or without. Same. Here also same. It cannot be rejected or amended by the legislative council. It should be returned to the legislative council within 14 days, either with or without amendments. It is up to the legislative assembly, it is up to the Lok Sabha to accept the recommendations or not. But within 14 days, it is deemed to be passed. The Lok Sabha can either accept or reject all or any of the recommendations of the Rajya Sabha. Same here. The legislative assembly can either accept or reject all or any of the recommendations given by the legislative council. These are the similarities with respect to the money bill between parliament and state legislature. Then coming, if the Lok Sabha accepts any recommendation, the bill is then deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the modified form. This is also same. If the legislative assembly accepts any recommendation, if the bill is then deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the modified form. If they accept, fine. If they don't accept also, fine. Maximum time in both the houses is 14 days. For ordinary bill, maximum time which is rested in the legislative council is how much? 4 months. The maximum time with the Rajya Sabha is 6 months. If the Lok Sabha does not accept any recommendation, the bill is then deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the form originally passed by the Lok Sabha without any change. Here also same. If the legislative assembly does not accept any recommendation, the bill is then deemed to have been passed by both the houses in the form of original, passed by the legislative assembly without any change. Means if recommendations are accepted, then it is accepted with recommendations. Without recommendations it is accepted, means original form it is accepted in both, either parliament or Rajya Sabha. If the Rajya Sabha does not return the bill to the Lok Sabha within 14 days, The bill is deemed to have been passed by both the houses at the expiration of the said period in the form of originally passed by the Lok Sabha. Here also, same. Maximum time is 14 days. The constitution does not provide for the resolution of any deadlock between the two houses. Which bill? For money bill. For money bill, whether there is any joint sitting? No. For constitutional amendment bill, whether there is any joint sitting? No. For the formation of the state, whether there is any joint sitting? No. For the formation of the state, no joint sitting. For the Constitutional Amendment Act, no. For the money bill, no joint sitting. This is because the will of the Lok Sabha is made to prevail over that of the Rajya Sabha. If the latter does not agree to the bill, but still it is passed by the Lok Sabha. The same here. The constitution does not provide for the resolution of any deadlock between the two houses. This is because the bill of the Legislative Assembly is made to prevail over that Legislative Council. That means the Legislative Council does not agree to the bill passed by the Legislative Assembly. Now you see. Money bill is same as Parliament, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Same with what? Same with, that means this will be same. So the provisions of the Parliament with respect to the money bill and the provisions with respect to the state legislature in money bills are same. With ordinary, little bit differences are there. This is about the differences. Where the Legislative Council is same with the Legislative Assembly. This type of questions will be in the mains. When the Legislative Council will be same with the Legislative Assembly, equal with Assembly. Number 1. Introduction and passage of ordinary bills. In case of disagreement between the two houses, the will of the Assembly prevails over that of the Council. So, equal with Assembly. Means, a ordinary bill can be equally placed in the Legislative Council also. Up to that point, both are equal. Yes, introduction it is same. I can introduce either in the Legislative Assembly or the Legislative Council. Which will prevail, that is different. But introduction can happen in both the houses. So, equal at the time of introduction. Approval of ordinance issued by the governor, yes, both. Both houses should pass. Both houses should pass theoretically. Both houses should pass the ordinance issued by the governor under the Article 213. Under the Article 213, the ordinance which is issued by the governor should be passed by the two houses, Lok Sabha and the Legislative Council. But if Legislative Council doesn't accept, in the second reading it will be accepted. In the second voting it will be accepted. But it should be approved by both the houses. For ordinances, equal is up to passing of the two houses. If it is not passed, that is another. Selection of the ministers including CM. By constitution, ministers including CM can be members of either house. Irrespective of their membership, they are responsible only to the, up to which point they are equal. A chief minister or a council of minister can be a member either of the Legislative Assembly or Legislative Council. Difference is what? However, they are accountable to the Assembly. But equal up to what? Yes. The council of minister and the chief minister can be from either of the houses. The chief minister and the council of ministers can be from either of the houses. But who is accountable? For whom they are accountable means they are accountable to the assembly only. At that time there is a difference. But before that, a council of minister and the chief minister both can be from the consideration of reports of constitutional bodies like State Finance Commission, State Public Service Commission, Comptroller Auditor General of India, enlargement of jurisdiction of the State Public Service Commission will be done by both the houses. Means deliberation, discussion. State Public Service Commission, State. Comptroller Auditor General, this is, Comptroller, very good question. See, CAG CAG is at central level. The CAG also works for the state accounts, central accounts also. For central accounts and state accounts, not only limited to the central accounts and state accounts, for the public sector accounts also the CAG will be working. So the CAG will be working for the central government accounts, state government's accounts, central public sector undertakings, state public sector undertakings also. But the state government accounts will be scrutinized in the state legislature, state public sector undertakings will be scrutinized under the state legislature, central government will be scrutinized under the central parliament, central public sector undertakings will be scrutinized under the central parliament, central legislature. The CAG is having the duty, of accountability mechanism of the central government expenses as well as state government expenses. So state government expenses will be discussed in both the houses. So it might be the Finance Commission, it might be the State Public Service Commission, it might be the CAG. The discussion will be happening in both the houses equally. The discussion will be happening in both the houses equally. कहाँ unequal है? You know, money bill. Importance is only for assembly. Only deliberation, that too up to 14 days. If you want to discuss also, you have to discuss within 14 days. 15th day I will take it back. So huge inequality with respect to money bill. Voting is also not important in Legislative Council. Votings are not there with respect to money bills in the Legislative Council, and mostly you can discuss only up to 14 days. Highest importance is for assembly. Unequal with assembly. A money bill can be introduced only in the assembly. Council cannot amend or reject a money bill. It should return the bill to the assembly within 14 days, either with recommendations or without recommendations. The assembly can either accept or reject all or any of the recommendations of the council. In both the cases, the money bill is deemed to have been passed by the two houses if it is crossed. Unequal. Final power to decide whether a particular bill is money bill or not is vested in the speaker. Speaker is the house of assembly, not with the chairman. That is also unequal. Final power of passing an ordinary bill also lies with the assembly. Why? Because maximum time an ordinary bill can stay with the legislative council is 4 months. So with respect to money bill, the legislative assembly is supreme. With respect to ordinary bill also, the legislative assembly is supreme. But the only difference is there 14 days, here 4 months. 4 months. In Legislative Council it is 4 months. For money bill it is 14 days. Council can only discuss the budget but cannot vote on the demands for grants, which is exclusive privilege of the assembly. Why? Because a money bill. Budget is a money bill. Annual financial statement is a money bill. So obviously the Legislative Council doesn't have any powers. Council can't remove the Council of Ministers by passing a no confidence motion. This is because the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible only to the Assembly, but the Council can discuss and criticize the policies and activities of the government. So Legislative Council is just a deliberative body, a extended accountability mechanism, extended accountability arm to the Legislative Assembly, but the voting, the accountability of the ministers and the Council of Ministers to whom? Assembly. When an ordinary bill which has originated in the Council and was sent to the Assembly is rejected by the Assembly, the bill ends and becomes dead. But there, if the Lok Sabha will not vote, if the Lok Sabha doesn't vote, it is also called as deadlock. But if the Legislative Assembly doesn't vote, then the bill will come to an end if it is passed from the Legislative Council. Yes or no? We studied Parliament very, very slowly. That is the reason here we are doing quickly. Whoever neglected Parliament, they are failing now. Like that it is. So it's a link. Council has no effective say in the ratification of a constitutional amendment bill. In this respect also the will of the Assembly prevails over that of the Council. Constitutional amendment bill where the federal structure is getting impacted, where it is passed from the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha with a special majority. As the federal structure is getting impacted, 50% of the state assembly should give its approval. So when it is coming to the state approval, only the state assembly approval but not the state council approval. Constitutional amendment bill happens two ways. One is when the federal system is affecting, when federal system is not getting impacted. For example, when the number of Rajya Sabha seats are increased, when the powers of the Supreme Court or the High Court is changed, obviously the state governments will be impacted. Why? Because High Court is located in the state. So, whether the state governments are interested in this constitutional amendment, we can come to know by the 50% of the states which are giving approval. So, in state, which state assembly should give? State assembly should give. GST, 50% of the state governments gave, state assemblies gave approval. Why? Because the SGST is there, state GST is there. 50% for SGST, 50% for CGST. But where the federal system is not getting impacted, where the federal Jammu and Kashmir Constitutional Amendment Act, abrogation of Article 370, only one state got impacted, not all the states. So there is no requirement of 50% of the state's approval. Why? Because federal system is not getting impacted. So when it came to the state, only state assemblies approval is important, but not the councils. So unequal. Finally, the very existence of the council depends on the will of the assembly. The council can be abolished by the parliament on the recommendation of the assembly. Finally, the very existence of legislative council itself depends upon the assembly. Why? Because assembly should pass a resolution with special majority to the parliament. That means the existence of the legislative council will be at the mercy of the legislative assembly. If the removal of the legislative council also, the state assembly, if they pass a resolution, then the legislative council will be removed. So the very existence of the legislative council depends upon the mercy of the legislative assembly. The big difference is this big difference. Why? Because the very existence of the legislative council depends upon unequal with assembly. Even though both the council and the Rajya Sabha are second chambers, the constitution has given the council much lesser importance than Rajya Sabha due to the following reasons. This is the answer for your question, daily question. It's representatives of the states. Rajya Sabha is a representatives of the states. Means what? We can tell the Rajya Sabha as a federal body. Rajya Sabha is in a 100% federal body. Why? Because all the states representatives are present in Rajya Sabha. Sir, Lok Sabha also present? No, Lok Sabha is also present. But exclusively we are naming for the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha consists of representatives of states. Maintains the federal equilibrium by protecting the interests of the states against the undue interference of the center. Therefore, it has to be an effective revising body and not just an advisory body or dilatory body like that of the council. The issue of federal significance does not arise in the case of council. So, Rajya Sabha is a bigger body when compared to the legislative council. Kyun? Why? Why? Because the legislative council is not a federal body, whereas Rajya Sabha is a federal body because the state representatives are present in the Rajya Sabha. And exclusive one of the duty of the Rajya Sabha members is discussing about the issues of the state. Whereas Lok Sabha, they discuss about the constitutional problem, their constituency problem, but not the state problem. In Lok Sabha, the Lok Sabha member works for the constituency. he discuss about the constituency's problem but not the state problem. The Rajya Sabha members discuss about the state problem. So states are properly represented in the Rajya Sabha when compared to the Lok Sabha. So more deliberations, more advisories is necessary in the Rajya Sabha when compared to the Legislative Council, because the state aspirations are heard in the Rajya Sabha more than the Lok Sabha. And the Legislative Council is nothing but an extended arm of deliberations. It is not a federal body or it is not a body of any representatives. Number 1, federal features. Remember, first point, federal features. Second point, the council is heterogeneously constituted. It represents different interests and consists of differently elected members and nominated members. On the other hand, Rajya Sabha is a homogeneous constituted. It represents only the states and consists of mainly elected. If we take this, the much representatives are present in council. Why? 1/6. First, 1/3 are from the local bodies, 1/12 are the teachers, 1/12 are the graduates, 1/3 are the MLAs who are electing the other than the MLAs. They will be electing the other members who are not MLAs. So more heterogeneous is present in legislative councils rather than Rajya Sabha. That is positive for Legislative Council. So more fields are represented in Legislative Council rather than Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, the maximum are from the states. Only 12 members are nominated from art, literature, social sciences, social service and science. But in Legislative Council, art, literature, social service, science, cooperative movement, teachers, graduates, local body members and the members who are part of the state legislative assemblies, means state legislative members who will be electing the other members as well as nominated members who are in the first 5. So more heterogeneity is present in the Legislative Council, rather than that is one positive point. So any question in the Legislative Council, you can write this. Yes, Legislative Council is not only a deliberative body. It is not only an extended wing. It is also a more heterogeneous body when compared to the Rajya Sabha. When compared to the Lok Sabha also. When compared to the Assembly also. So first is federal for Rajya Sabha. Second is heterogeneity for the council. So second, you remember this word, heterogeneity. Third, the position accorded to the council is in accordance with the principles of democracy. The council should yield to the assembly, which is a popular house. And third is, the position accorded to the council is in accordance with the principles of democracy. The council should yield to the assembly. So with respect to the voting pattern, the council is secondary and the assembly is primary. But the Rajya Sabha is not secondary. The Rajya Sabha is on equal footing with the Lok Sabha. So with respect to voting pattern, third is voting pattern. So Legislative Council is secondary to the Legislative Assembly, but the Rajya Sabha is not secondary to the Lok Sabha. Why? Because it is on equal footing with the Even though the council has been given less powers as compared with the assembly, its utility is supported on the following grounds, positives. It checks the hasty, defective, careless, ill-considered legislation made by the assembly by making provisions for revision and thought. Means more deliberations which are happening in the Legislative Council will help to find any ill-conceived bills, deliberative bills, intentional bills, or if any ruling party is from one community, if they want to get the benefit to that community, here the discussions will be happening. More deliberations will be happening. Why? Because heterogeneity is there here. Heterogeneous representatives are here. Intellectuals are here. Graduates, teachers, art, literature, social service, science, cooperative. So intellectuals are present more in council when compared to the legislative assemblies. Why? Because sometimes intellectuals cannot garner the support of the people. Why? Because the intellectuals cannot become the part of the people. They cannot make the people to vote for them. So for them the safe haven is legislative council. For them the place for their aspirations, for their motives is council. It facilitates representation of eminent professionals and experts who cannot face direct elections. The governor nominates 1/6 members of the council to provide representation to such peoples: art, literature, social service, science and cooperative movement. So more intellectuals are present in legislative council when compared to the legislative assembly, when compared to the Lok Sabha, when compared to the Rajya Sabha. So intellectuals body is, I am supporting legislative council. A positive conclusion. Why? Because up to now we criticized, we told you councils are waste, you council doesn't have any power. So finally we have to give them power. The power is intellectuals are present in legislative council. More deliberations are happening in, more representatives are there in councils. Heterogeneity. Removal of Anglo-Indians representation in legislative bodies. Anglo-Indians were being represented. One Anglo-Indian was being represented in the legislative assemblies and 2 Anglo-Indians were being represented in the Lok Sabha. Now it is ended. From 2020 onwards, by 126th Constitutional Amendment, bill passed by the Parliament effectively does away with the reservation for Anglo-Indian in Lok Sabha assemblies. Anglo-Indians were provided 2 nominated seats in the Lok Sabha and 1 nominated in the State Assembly. Now it is done. End to Anglo-Indians. So this is what? This is state legislature. Main we have to understand from the perspective of the Parliament. Prelims point of view. Mains point of view, the relative relationship between the Lok Sabha and the Assembly, the Rajya Sabha and the Legislative Council, the Parliament and the state legislature, with respect to ordinary bills and with respect to money bills, as well as with the Constitutional Amendment Bill. But the Constitutional Amendment Bill will not come to the Legislative Council only. And the negative point is, at the end, the Legislative Council is at the mercy of the Legislative Assembly. Why? Because of the resolution passed by the Legislative Assembly only, the Legislative Council will be made. Again, a bill need to be passed in the Parliament. But however, the Legislative Council is great because intellectuals are present. Why? Because it is a heterogeneity body. Because there are representatives from teachers, graduates, local bodies, MLAs. MLAs will be electing the members as well as nominated members from art, literature, social science, social service, science and cooperative movement. So finally we can tell that the Legislative Council can also be called as intellectual body. Why? Because more deliberations are happening, more discussions are happening, which will not allow ill-conceived bills, ill-conceived policies. Why? Because the discussions are happening in the councils. Important case. Mainly with respect to disqualification of the MLAs and MPs. One important case is Lily Thomas case. MLA disqualification, same applies to the MP also. But the original case is with respect to MLA disqualification. Lily Thomas case of 2013 by the Supreme Court. What is this judgment? Listen. In Representation of Peoples Act 1951, the Representation of Peoples Act is very important for the sake of providing the qualifications and disqualifications for the people's representatives. What should be the qualifications, what should be the disqualifications for the sake of MLAs and MPs. 8th section is very important. In section 8, there are 4 clauses are there. 8 clause 1, 8 clause 2, 8 clause 3, 8 clause 4. 8 clause 1, 8 clause 2, 8 clause 3 talks about if any elected member or any person who is aspiring to contest the elections, if got punished, if got convicted, convicted means who got punishment, hence proved is called as convicted. Who got discharged of his offences is called as acquitted. Who got discharged of his offences is called as acquitted. Who got punished under a case or an offence is called as convicted. So section 8 of clause 1, 2, 3 of the Representation of People's Act 1951 will tell that if any person is convicted in some of the offences which are mentioned in the section 8 of clause 1, clause 2, clause 3 will be disqualified at that particular moment itself. And he is not allowed to contest the elections also, like POCSO, prevention of sexual offences against the children, or rape or murder, sexual assault, or section 420 cheating. If this, under this sections, if offences are made and proved in the court of law, then he will be disqualified and he is not allowed to contest elections under section 8 of 1, 2, 3 clauses. But immediately there is one more clause which is called as clause 4. 8th section 4th clause. It tells that when he got convicted from the lower court, when an MP or MLA got convicted under the lower court, within the 3 months if he appeals, within the 3 months when he got the punishment, within the 3 months if he appeals in the higher court, till the judgment is out from the higher court, his disqualification will not be applied. Means he can continue as MLA or MP. They punished by 8, 1, 2, 3 and immediately in 4th they told that if they appeal in the higher court, then the disqualification will not be applied, the disqualification will be continued if the higher court also convicts him. By the time the 5 years will be completed, he will enjoy the MLA, he will enjoy the MP, how much he want to earn, everything he will be done. So this section 8 clause 4 was being questioned under this Lily Thomas. Lily Thomas is an advocate in the Supreme Court of India, and in this judgment the Supreme Court told that section 8 clause 4 is null and void. If they are convicted by the lower court also, they will be disqualified as an MLA and MP. Why so, sir? Why so? Because criminalization of politics is an issue that affects the very core of the democratic setup. In spite of getting punishment, that means they are proved as criminal, but still they are enjoying like people's representatives. They are going to the Lok Sabhas, they are going to the Rajya Sabhas, they are coming to the legislative assemblies, they are coming to the legislative councils also. In order to stop the entry of the criminalization of politics, the Lily Thomas case is very much important. The disqualification of the legislatures are discussed under this section, and the section 8 of clause 4 was been removed, was been made null and void. If they are convicted, that means immediately their position as an MLA and MP will be removed, disqualified by the effect of the judgment, in 2013. Lot of MPs got affected because of this judgment. Lalu Prasad Yadav. This is Lily Thomas. This is the same content which I explained to you.
So disqualification means in future also they cannot start.
Yes, very good question. So here what happens? When, for example, if they got a punishment of 2 years, in Indian Penal Code, any punishment is more than 2 years and above, it is called a serious offence. Under Indian Penal Code, if the punishment is more than 7 years, it is called as heinous crimes. So, for the serious crimes, 2 years and above, if the punishment is there, then they will be disqualified under the section 1, 2, 3 clauses of 8. After they get the punishment, after they complete the punishment, after the completion of the punishment, 6 years. From that day onwards, 6 years, they will be not allowed to contest the elections. After 6 years, they can be allowed to contest. So, according to the Lily Thomas judgment, when they got convicted, immediately disqualification will be applied. They will be removed as an MLA and MP. Till they pursue the punishment or till they appeal in the court. still they will be disqualified. If the court dismisses, higher court dismisses, then again he can contest the elections. But if higher court also convicts him, then his punishment should be completed. After the completion of the punishment, from that day 6 years after, he can contest the elections. That is Lily Thomas case. Next case is Ram Babu Singh Thakur versus Sunil Arora and others, Supreme Court case of 2020. What is this case? Recent case, 2020. Any criminal antecedent, any cases are there with respect to you, criminal cases are there on the contestant or a person who got elected, he need to provide that information to the public. Already a case was been booked on me, section 420. Please people before voting just know about me. He should declare. There is a rowdy sheet opened on me. There is a Gunda Act on me. Please public know about me that already I am a criminal. If you want to vote, you can vote. In that way, open declaration need to be given by the legislatures. Supreme Court in February 2020 passed another judgment whereby all candidates both at the state and central would have to publish their criminal records if they want to stand in. So they have to tell that I am already a 420 convict. Please know about me. I am already a criminal person, but still I am contesting for the elections. If you wish, you can vote for me. Lot of cases are there on me, but I am contesting the elections. If you can vote for me. So it's genuine person, he is very genuine person. So he is coming up. Genuinity at the peaks that yes, I am a criminal, but still I am contesting the elections. I am giving you open declaration. I am very transparent. Yes, that is what the judgment is telling. So this is Ram Babu Singh Thakur versus Sunil Arora and others, Supreme Court case. The next is anti-defection law. 10th schedule of the Constitution. Originally 8 schedules are there. 10th schedule of the first Constitutional Amendment Act is called as 9th schedule of the Constitution. 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act is called as 10th schedule of the Constitution. The 10th schedule of the Constitution talks about defection. If any person wins the elections by one symbol, after winning the election, jump the party. So he is defecting. He is cheating the public. Why? Because I voted him by seeing his party symbol. He belongs to one political party. But after winning elections, he jumped the party. That means he cheated the voter. Then this defection law, which is called as anti-defection law, will come into existence. Means whoever, defection means cheating. Whoever cheats, for them there will be an anti-mechanism which is called as anti-defection law. The 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, popularly referred to as anti-defection law, was inserted by the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1985 by the Rajiv Gandhi to stop Ayaram Gayaram. There was one popular politician. In the morning he was one political party, afternoon another political party, by the evening another political party. So there is a jumpings are happening. So in order to stop that jumpings, or in order to shift the political, in order to shifting the political parties itself, in order to keep a step, or in order to stop it, there is one law called as anti-defection. How we are changing mobile phones nowadays? The RAM is changing the political parties. In order to stop the defection, there is an anti-defection law. Provisions. So mainly it talks about disqualification. When an MP or an MLA can be disqualified or will be disqualified. To the point. Number 1. If an elected member gives up his membership of a political party voluntarily, I won from one political party, but I am giving up my political party and I am jumping into another political party voluntarily, then disqualification will appear. Why? Because if you want to come out of the political party, please come out of the MP also, come out of the MLA also, or you resign completely and again contest for the elections. But after winning on one political party and choosing another political party after the winning is nothing but cheating the public. disqualification. If he votes or abstains from voting in the house contrary to any direction issued by the political party, there is a concept called as whip. Every political party will give the whip, means direction, obligation, compulsory obligation. All the political MPs or MLAs of our political party, we are giving the whip, everyone vote for this issue. But if someone is not following the whip, means not following the order of the political party, then also anti-defection law will be applied. Second. Third, if any member who is independently elected joins any party, I told that I am an independent person and I contested the elections. Everyone thought that I am independent and they vote for me. And after winning, I jumped into another party. That means cheating the public. A independent person also, when he jumps into another party, he will be disqualified. Or any popular party person, if he resigns from his party and joins another party also, he will be disqualified. If any nominated member joins any political party after the end of 6 months, this one, nominated members, like Anglo-Indians till 2020, or in Rajya Sabha nominated member, or in the Legislative Council nominated member, he can change the political party within the 6 months. Within the 6 months, he can choose any political party and he can go there. Mainly it is an issue with Anglo-Indians in the Lok Sabha and the Legislative Assembly. But this thing is not there now. Why? Because Lok Sabha and the Legislative Assembly, now there is no nominated members for Anglo-Indians. So now it is only with the Rajya Sabha and the Legislative Council. They are given the time period of 6 months. Within 6 months, they can choose any political party and they can go. But after 6 months, they are not allowed to change their party. If they change after 6 months, they will be removed. The decision on disqualification questions on the ground of defection is referred to the Speaker. And the Chairman of the House means the Chairman of the Legislative Council and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly in the state and the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Their decision is final when to apply this anti-defection. Exceptions under anti-defection law. In the situation, 2/3 of a political party members, they choose to resign from one political party and join another party. 2/3 is a very big number. So it might be some genuine case. So anti-defection law will be not applied if 2/3 members of one political party jump into another political party. Why? Because 2/3 members means, for example, if 100 members are from one political party, 66 members are going into another party means a very big thing. So there is something problem with the political party only. So it is exempted. In the situation where 2/3 of the legislatures of a political party decide to merge into another party, neither the members who decide to join nor the ones who stay with the original party will have his disqualification. Means who are going to change the party and who are present in the party also will not face any disqualification. Why? Because the logic is there might be some genuine problem with the political party. That is the reason 2/3 members are changing the. Is the decision of the presiding officer subject to judicial review? Till recently, till 1993. Why? Because 1985 anti-defection law was being made by the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and in 1993 a judgment was being out which is called as Kihutu-Holahan case. Kihutu-Holahan case, whereby the decision with respect to anti-defection law of the Speaker of the Assembly and the Lok Sabha and the Chairman of the Legislative Council and the Rajya Sabha was being final. Means if we decide to disqualify, he will be disqualified. The MP or the MLA will be disqualified. But in the Kihutu-Holahan case, the Supreme Court iterated that the judicial review is a basic structure doctrine. Speaker will not have the power to supersede the power of judicial review. Hence, the decision of the presiding officer is also subjected to judicial review. The Act provided that the presiding officer's decision was final and could not be questioned in any court of law. But in Kihutu-Holahan case of 1993, the Supreme Court declared this provision as unconstitutional on the ground that it seeks to take away the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court and the High Courts with respect to judicial review. So now, the presiding officer's decision with respect to anti-defection or disqualification of the members of the legislatures is subjected to judicial review. Does the anti-defection law affect the legislature's ability to make the decisions? We have to do like this, questions and answer. Question, then we will understand properly. Does the anti-defection law affect the legislature's ability to make a decision? Yes. My political party is not secular, but I am secular. They made a decision which is against my conscience. It is against my wish. It's against my conscience, but they gave a whip. But I don't like it. But under anti-defection law, if I don't follow the whip, then I will be disqualified. So what it is making, it is forcefully making me to not work according to my conscience. So my individual liberty is compromised. My individual liberty is compromised. My free will is compromised. The anti-defection law aims to maintain a stable government by ensuring that the legislature do not switch sides. This is a positive. So for a stable government, anti-defection law is good. But this law also limits the legislature from voting according to his conscience and electorate's interest. In my constituency, I promised them and I became success. Now the political party is working against my constituency's interest. So sometimes I might compromise with respect to my conscience, my free will, or my electorate's interest also. But however, for a stable government, there is a requirement of anti-defection law.